Come on, keep talking about Sid now. I really like talking about Sid. Welcome to Sandbox. This is Openly Beta's podcast.
It's episode 10.
It's episode 10!
Woo! We made it!
Episode 10, it's the one that everyone's been waiting for. Actually, I'm going to prevent you from doing that.
You cleaned!
Because I spent a lot of time cleaning this area at the weekend, and the amount of detritus that we've left in here from doing podcasts is actually quite surprising.
I wanted to just go
There was a balloon
really loud.
that you had for my birthday episode.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been moved, and it actually fused to the floor, and it took me a good solid 20 minutes to get it out.
Oh, we've had some classic memories here over Openly Beta on Sandbox. I thought we should have worn the suits. Didn't you mention that? You know what we need?
Yeah, we're going to wear some suits, but
We
I also
need-
quite like the blue and red.
No, we need red and blue suits. I was about to say.
Well, I've already got a blue suit.
Red suits are much harder to come by.
Much. No one wears
We
a
should
red
just
suit.
buy red and blue
You
everything.
can totally get a cheap red suit.
Oh yeah, I'll find one.
Sure.
We should get like red jeans. We should just always wear red and blue everything.
It's so much easier being blue, man.
I don't know.
Like blue jeans. Oh, where am I going to find blue jeans?
Okay, but when it comes to Christmas, you're going to have a tough time finding some blue elf costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, suck on that.
So, basically, we're drinking beer which of an unknown origin. And by unknown, I mean I do know what it is. I brewed it at work, but
No one will know where you work.
I can't disclose where I work. But
The millions of fans will ravage your home.
we've actually got 3 different beers. We've got a nice big fat boy.
So basically,
in the middle.
Jamie knows exactly what we're drinking.
Yeah.
Jack has no idea. Jack's drinking what Jamie didn't want.
No, so I'm not going to explain the origin of this alcohol, but I procured some alcohol in which I brewed this one, and that's it. The other 2 was brewed by the other guy at work.
The other 2 you just kind of
That's right.
squeezed out of the rafters.
But we can describe what they taste like. This one is incredibly dark. Sweet and coffee and chocolate, and also they're all flat.
You're describing
They're
exactly
all-
what's in them because you know.
I can list off the ingredients.
Also, you. I can list off the process. Jamie, you ruined it. I was going to just describe mine as flat.
You can still do that.
Spoiler alert. I don't want to describe the beer because I'm far too intimidated by your intense lack. No. What's the opposite of lack? Your intense abundance of knowledge on what is in this beer and what it tastes like.
Yeah, I know specifically what is in all these beers.
So I'm going to say it tastes like beer.
Although, I only actually remember the hops that was in this one.
Sweet.
First Golden Mount Hood, if you're wondering.
Golden Mount Hood.
And also 100% Maris Otter malt. This one is also that and that one. But this one's got a range of dark malts which make it its dark colour. But a lot of people already know that. It's not a particularly interesting fact. What you really want to know is what's specifically in there. There's oats, there's crystal malt, there's flaked barley, there's black malt, and something else.
Mine's definitely got grape in it. Getting grape.
So Jack's beer I don't actually like.
Yeah.
But
Describe it
it's,
for
but
me.
it's commercially sold.
I guess people like it. Makes money.
So that's the beer segment.
Yeah, so basically the beer segment's taken on a whole new thing. We just advertise where Jamie works without telling you where it is. Go buy it today.
Don't buy it when it's out of date though, because it was flat. Oh yeah, this is out of date, by the way.
Horribly gone off.
I can't actually remember.
Mine, I
can
quite
feel where this one came from. This one was from a... Actually, no, I can't.
It was an ancient Chinese merchant.
So I was
I
travelling
actually enjoy
along
the
the
taste
streets
of mine.
of Chinatown in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and
Yeah.
I came across an ironmonger, and as he was mongering the iron, he was bit of ASMR for you headphone users.
Right, we've got some.
He actually
We've got
he
some
went to me
Mentos
and
now.
said,
Link, you're our only hope.
What that again?
You gave me there.
That again.
Does this?
Back to the ASMR.
Yeah, it works. Oh, that sounded really gross. No, wait, that was really, really bad.
I mean, now I'm gonna try that.
Oh! Ow!
Jamie,
Ow!
right?
Just my mementos, like hard-boiled sweets.
Flavour.
I thought they were chewier than that.
It's not quite hard. You're right there. Jamie, like 7 minutes in, all we've done is nothing.
Welcome to Sandbox episode 10!
Right, let's dive in.
What did I do that?
You made me. Right, Game of Thrones. I've been on holiday. Me and Jamie haven't spoken for a while.
Hence, the lack of content. Well, actually...
It's been as much content as ever, if not more.
When I say content, I mean this specific show. That hasn't been on for a while.
Yeah.
We've actually been pretty on it when it comes to content.
Because before I left, I scheduled 6 videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, go.
Right. First episode, quite enjoyed. Potentially, can't really remember it. Actually, I think it's quite forgettable. Not sure. Second episode, was the second episode to build up to the battle?
Episode 1 and 2 have both build up to the battle.
Second episode is the one I'm thinking of though, and I did enjoy it. A lot of people are describing it as when you, like, the battle, just before the final boss battle, you're like preparing everything, and you're like, oh, this is going to be the end now. And it really got that feeling, and I really liked it. I still thought, there were still moments that I can't quite put my finger on of like, the dialogue just isn't as good as it used to be.
It isn't.
It's more modernised.
Why?
Because it's not George R. R. Martin anymore.
It's not. It wasn't George R. R. Martin to begin with. They're writing the scripts. It's not George R. R. Martin who's doing the words.
I don't know, a lot of the lines are very, or well, a lot of the lines are just copies of the book. At least in the first 4 seasons.
They don't transcribe the book like that. I don't know why, but the speaking in just general has gone downhill.
Oh, what, you just mean the way the actors read the lines?
No. The way, well, actually yes, but also the words that they speak. That's nothing to do with the books, though.
It definitely sounds more modernised.
It does. It's so bad.
I definitely think it's to do with the screenwriters having more and more, control over
It's
it.
linked.
I mean, they're the ones writing it entirely now. It's D&D. But still, I enjoyed the second episode, and it felt like the best Game of Thrones episode I'd seen in a while. And then the Battle of Winterfell was probably the least favourite episode I've ever experienced.
Oh, we have quite different opinions on that.
Oh yeah, I really didn't enjoy it. It was constantly cutting to characters who were nearly dying, and then in the next scene they were just fine. There were so many ridiculous moments. Oh my god, the way the army was structured, the way the formation, the trebuchets were in front of everyone else.
Yes.
I saw that and was like, what? I don't know anything about... I don't play Total War like everyone else was constantly... I play Total War and I know it's this. I don't play Total War and I know that was stupid. And the Night King raising everyone around him and then Jon just killing all of them and then cut to the next bit and they're all dead and it's like, well, how did he do that? Let's be honest.
So...
Dany and Jon just floating around on dragons, not doing anything for the whole time.
There were a lot of issues on reflection, but when I watched it, I was very invested and had a really good time. It was only after that I started to piece together, actually, there's a lot of issues. But I do think the way it was filmed was so cool, and I do think that because I care about the characters and the world, I really enjoyed that alone. Like, I just thought the battle and the spectacle was enough for me on the very first watching. It was enough to keep me entertained and happy, except for the ending.
Yeah.
And also, the bit where Arya is walking around inside the castle and like there's like it's kind of like a horror movie scene where she's running around.
I liked that.
Cool.
I like that a lot. That was my favourite part of the episode.
Yeah.
Was her walking around and it's just like it just felt like a zombie film.
But they have made so many mistakes with the story now, and
it's hard to come back from.
So you were talking about episode 1 and 2 being good. And
I don't remember episode
I-
1, so I'm going to take that back. But I enjoyed the build-up of episode 2.
I enjoyed episode 1 and 2. However, I didn't enjoy them from the fact that that was a third of season 8. Those 2 episodes.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Mm.
That if they're going to do six episodes, then don't do 2 episodes which are indistinguishable. They were the same episode. It was
Yeah,
like
because I really can't
people
remember episode
talking.
1, so it should have just entirely been episode 2.
They should have done 10 episodes and have those 2 episodes
that.
in, but have 10 episodes. But yeah, and then
I think time-wise, though...
I think the fact that you have all these characters reminiscing and stuff, and you're thinking, this is really great, and it's made great because you're thinking, these guys are going to die, for sure.
Mm.
And then they don't.
Yes. That is a really good point that I haven't even thought about
All
yet.
of them. As in, seriously, all of the characters that they put emphasis on, all the big ones, they all live.
Mm.
So, what was the point?
Yeah,
From a story perspective,
no, that's true. Going back a bit, I do agree with you that when I first watched it, I was enjoying it and I was very invested. But I'd say that was only for like the first half. And then when it kept cutting back to characters nearly dying, especially Sam lying on the ground, it kept doing it over and over, and I was like, this is ridiculous now.
No, I do agree. It did get to a point where I was like, okay, there's not people aren't dying,
And it's just
I'm kind of
the-
I did think that there's a scene where Brienne, she's at the front, and
Yeah,
there's a tidal wave of zombies, and they just engulf her.
yeah,
She's dead, right?
yeah.
No.
They're, like,
we see her
biting her
again,
and ripping
and she's
her
like,
up.
we see her again, and she's like, like, whoa, hang on, you are outnumbered ridiculously.
Yeah.
And like, these are crazy, savage monsters, and there is a tidal wave of them.
Mm,
You cannot win. That should have been her death.
yeah,
Straight up, she's knighted by Jamie. Have the season 4, episode 4, they have the whole sex scene.
yeah,
Have that before the battle.
yeah,
Kill her arc's finished. Kill her without even acknowledging it. It's just a wave of zombies. She's dead.
yeah.
But she lived. Why?
By the way, spoilers for Game of Thrones season 8. But yeah, exactly that thing. Brienne's arc was finished. They knighted her. It's like, this is it. There is nothing more they can do for Brienne. She lived, and then they gave her a new arc that she's a virgin, like 3 episodes before the ending. That was like,
The whole virgin
And then-
thing was okay. So
it was,
as a concept,
yeah,
nothing wrong with it. I don't think.
No.
Because you kind of assume that.
yeah.
Because the way she
I
is.
believe it.
And that's fine. But that should have been a passing comment when she's getting it on with Jamie,
Yeah,
and then she goes, "This is my first time."
yeah. Or
And
even
then- and that's
even
it, that's
even
it.
they're playing the drinking game preparation for the battle
Yes.
when they're all getting drunk.
Yes, and then Jamie goes, Jamie goes, "Don't worry about it." And they have sex, and then the battle goes, and she's dead, and it's kind of like, well, we know she's sad, but she had sex, and she's a knight. But
Her arc's
instead,
finished.
they're just like, bring it all up again, and then to have Jamie go back to Cersei. What? He was redeemed.
No, he's gonna kill Cersei. That's definitely a trick
But
to
it's-
make Brienne not stop him or something.
No, but I don't care. But Jamie shouldn't kill Cersei because everyone thinks that he's gonna kill Cersei from like episode whatever. Like it's really obvious. It was always gonna happen. As soon as she started going mad, it was like, actually Jamie's a good guy now, and she's not.
Yeah.
That was,
However,
like, on the wall.
I feel like I'd kind of prefer it if he did kill Cersei, rather than them purposefully trying to subvert my expectations.
True.
Because I'm not enjoying that.
No. Also, okay. So here's another thing.
Yeah.
I'm in 2 minds about Arya killing the Night King.
I'm in one mind. Carry
I'm in
on.
2 minds, and I was trying to convince you
Mm.
to think more positively about it.
Yeah.
So the negative bit first is I don't think the Night King should have died at all.
Yep.
But let's go into a situation where we have to kill him somehow in that
Yeah.
episode. Arya has had this huge, I think, in my opinion, boring arc of her training to be an assassin.
Mm.
She was always told to say no to death, and they keep referring to the Night King as Death Incarnate.
Mm.
And they've had all this build up,
Yeah.
and I think it was pretty cool. Isolate everything in your head.
Yeah.
Let's assume that he has to die in the episode. They're gonna get someone to kill him. Aya actually does make sense. She is actually the most competent person to kill him. Jon Snow, although he's not Aya actually, he's not an assassin. She was the person who was going to assassinate him. I always thought about killing the Night King, how it'd be Jon Snow. I always thought he can't just attack him one-on-one. It's always going to have to be a trick.
Yeah.
It was always going to be a trick to kill him.
Yeah.
The best character to do that is Aya.
I agree, actually, with everything you just said. Especially, I completely forgot, but something I saw online was the way she killed him, doing that, dropping the knife in the other hand, stabbing him. She did that on Brienne last season when they were training.
Nice.
That exact move. So it was kind of built up.
That's pretty cool.
Everything you said about her being assassinated. It's just when she killed him. That should have been the end of the season. We started with the White Walkers. Very first scene was the White Walkers. We've spent the entire show establishing that this is more important than the Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones is silly in comparison.
Oh man, it really bums me out.
It's like the White Walkers are death. There is nothing scarier than the White Walkers. They are a horrifying concept. And it's been the whole time. It's like nothing else matters except this. And also, when you like relate that to the real world connotations of like, politics don't matter, we have to worry about the world we live in and humanity in general. In the grand scheme of things.
That was what
That was always the correlation.
That was the main concept of Game of Thrones.
Was the White
I always
Walkers.
thought that the White Walkers were key. It was mirroring our world. It was saying, I keep saying this, but they are like global warming. They're like a threat that everyone's ignoring or knows about but doesn't really care.
Yeah.
And they're squabbling with politics, and then actually they die. That is sick. That's such a good. And
Definitely.
to end on a negative. And to watch this whole show pan out and be like, whoa, they are having their politics and they're not actually ignoring. And then at the end, like, oh my god, they lose. Okay, so a cool ending would have been they lose, but they kill the Night King and all the White Walkers die, but there's no one left.
Yeah.
It's like they have to basically restart civilization.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, we can't let this happen again. Blah blah blah. Cool. I think it's a cool ending.
Yeah. And then there's an epilogue of like 2,000 years in the future and the White Walkers come back and no one believes them again.
Something like that. Cool.
No, I agree. And yeah, I also always relate them to global warming. However, I think you can relate them to any issue that's completely ignored. That's the beauty of them. And then it's like they killed Death. They killed the White Walkers, which have been this insane threat the whole time. It's like, I don't give a shit about the throne now. I don't care about Cersei.
No, I've completely turned off to Game of Thrones now. I don't. That's sad. I don't look forward to an episode of Game of Thrones now.
I'm just like, well, how are they going to end it now?
I think
that's the thing about the Battle of Winterfell it was the turning point. There were all these like what I would say bad episodes. Not even particularly bad episodes, but bad episodes of Game of Thrones. They weren't up to scratch Game of Thrones standard. But it was always like they can still end it a really cool way. There's still this stuff they can do. And now it's like after the Battle of Winterfell, it's like, well, they can't do anything I wanted them to do. And I know that it's not like they should end it how I particularly wanted it to end, but it's just it feels like it's how the show is meant to end.
I think that
it feels like it was the point of the show to begin with.
It does. I think that it would have been nice to have, and you still have it go on, where, in fact, you can still have episode 3 happen as it did, but have it so that the army is gone, essentially. But you know there's going to be a big, massive battle in next week's episode, or that episode which we haven't seen yet, don't know when it's going to come out. And you know that there's going to be a big battle, blah, blah, blah. What actually should happen is they are screwed. They cannot face Cersei. Like you can't have them win the Battle of Winterfell and win against Cersei. What was the point of the Battle of Winterfell if it has no consequences on the story?
That's another thing.
They didn't lose anything.
The entire
Cersei didn't lose anything. Nothing happened.
the entire point of the White Walkers ended up being to slightly thin out the North's army. That was it. After all this build-up, that was the entire point of them.
Also, how delicious would it have been to see Cersei's face as the White Walkers go to King's Landing and she can't do anything about it?
Yeah, that would have been really cool. And there was a theory online I read that only half of the White Walker army was going to the north.
Which it hinted at
half
by
going
not
to
showing
King's
the Night
Landing.
King, not showing the dragon at the end of episode 2.
And they kept going on about how many people were in King's Landing. King's Landing has 1 million people.
Which but now that does still come into.
Well, yeah, because they've got to go to
now
war.
now they're going to just kill millions of people in a war.
Yeah, that's
So
that's
it does
true. Actually, that's
come
true.
into it.
It's just it would have been so much better if the White Walkers had gone to King's Landing. Bronn had warned them on the way up because he had seen Viserion fly past or something. Bronn is another one. His arc should have ended years ago.
But do you mean Bronn or Bran?
No, Bronn. Because Bronn,
Yes.
Bronn went north, and
Did
I was
you-
like, this
did you
has to be his
find-
point.
Did you find
The
that?
scene was weird.
Wait. Who are we talking about here? I'm confused.
Bronn. Do you know which one Bronn
The
is?
mercenary.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Bronn. I got confused. Bronn. Didn't he seem completely out of character
Dr. Stanislaus.
in the last episode?
That,
Did you get an air of he did not feel like his character anymore?
a lot of people said that.
Weird.
I kind of felt like he didn't massively seem out of character because you hadn't seen him for a while, and he's always kind of been think about himself.
Except he saved Jamie.
Yeah, but he has always had a soft spot for the Lannister brothers, so it did feel a bit out of character. But I think the whole scene in general just felt weird to me.
Very weird.
It was really fast, comical paced. I think it was
strange.
all the pacing and the way they were back and forward in just felt really weird. I really can't describe it.
No, I completely agree. It felt really weird. I completely agree with you.
It felt too comical in a way.
Yeah, it was very strange. And also,
And I do think Bronze did seem at least slightly out of
here's another
character.
thing that I hate.
And his thing should have ended ages ago.
The theme tune replicates this. They know what they're doing. Game of Thrones, throughout the whole show, was like this big world.
Oh my god.
And
I said this
season
word
8,
for word on Monday.
Season 8 is Winterfell.
King's Landing. That's so weird. I said that word for word on Monday.
That's really funny.
I said this because India was like, "Oh, I actually really like the new opening credits," and I was like, "I do like. I like the animation and
It's
everything.
just
What's showing off.
Two,
It does really
kingdoms.
represent how it's become so much. It feels so much smaller,
it does.
especially
and they
with
know,
fast
but
travel.
they know what they're doing. They spent a lot of money on that intro.
Mm.
They know what they're doing.
Mm.
It's just about those two houses now. Like, that sucks. There is also, it's the 7 kingdoms. Like, where are the rest of the kingdoms? They never show
Yeah,
up.
I mean the North in general has been completely neglected.
Well, the North is Winterfell as far as the show's
That's
concerned.
what I mean.
And then occasionally it's like, oh, we have
So
we
many
have a
good
banner from
characters.
House blah, blah, blah. It's like, where?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you look at the map, there's
Yeah.
a ton of houses who are all in this kingdom. Actually, the North isn't this isolated, barren place that they paint it as. It's full of like the Boltons.
Yeah,
Oh, cool! Like they're a massive threat, but
It's
you
just-
didn't actually build that up. It just came out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
and it's like you don't have to. When you're adapting anything, you don't have to copy it word for word. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a completely true adaptation, but you should only really change things if you're going to make them better.
Yes.
And it just didn't do that. I'm talking about when it was adapting from the books. Not
It's-
obviously now they don't have books to adapt.
It's weird because the show was never going to be as good as the books because it's impossible. You can't make a show that has the sort of intricate detail that the books do.
Yeah, I mean the books are in the world building is insane. You can't fit that in a TV show.
No, so you expect it to be a miniature version in some way.
Yeah.
But it was so good until recently. It's really painful.
My favourite thing about last episode
From this bit,
after
by
the
way.
battle, which
Yeah.
we should also talk about. Oh, actually, no, going back. Basically, the showrunners just care about cool shots.
Yep.
Best example is the Dothraki. They ran off into darkness to fight the White Walkers, Why?
That
Because it was a
whole-
cool shot, and
that
it was a
whole
really
thing
cool shot.
Was stupid as hell.
It was a really cool shot.
Yeah.
All the lights going out. Why did they do that?
Yeah, completely
And
dumb.
a huge part of Game of Thrones was the strategy. It's so clever, the early seasons. Scenes like, well, I mean, the Red Wedding, for example, all because of, if a character makes a mistake, it has huge consequences, even a tiny mistake. And there's scenes like Tyrion going around playing everyone, telling them all lies to see which one tells Cersei. Really clever sequences, and there's massive scenes of them strategizing and thinking about what they've got to do. And now it's like, they put trebuchets in front of everyone, and they don't man the walls when White Walkers are climbing up the walls. It's like, what is going on? The only good military thing of that episode was the Unsullied. They were really cool. It's like, if they can get the Unsullied right, why is everyone else so dumb? There's loads of people in the team of the North. Like Jon Snow is a really good strategician. I mean, not particularly really good.
He's
But
not
he's
really
supposed to be.
standard. But I do think when they were climbing up the walls, I couldn't help but feel that's an easy place to kill them. Just
And you could see people just standing around.
Yes, and they have. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have dragon glass swords, right? And that kills them instantly. Like you stab them, they blow up, right? So how difficult would it be to get a load of people looking over the edge of the wall, just going shh, shh, shh. If they're blowing up with like shards of ice, just shh, 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 and it should be fine. They didn't do that. Oh, one thing I do think was pretty cool actually was the zombie giant, and I do think it was like a really, really brutal and gruesome scene when he killed Thingy.
Yes.
Mormon woman girl.
What was her name? I want to say Lyanna, but that was Lyanna Stark. But yeah, Giant's always been
actually,
really cool.
That was actually that was pretty scary.
Yeah.
He like, crushed her. She's like 10.
I was a bit sad we didn't see
Supposed to
more
be-
Giants
she's actually, like,
because
16
we've
probably, but-
we've seen them have loads of Giants before. I wanted to see more Giants.
I like there being a small number of Giants.
Yeah,
I do think there could have been more than one, obviously, because
at least like 3. We've seen like a shot of all the people marching along, and there's like 12 Giants. But I guess you don't want to go too overboard. Giants are really cool. They are incredible CGI.
they're really good.
They just
and
look really good, and yeah, I think that was quite a good death. It felt slightly out of character for her to be like, I'm gonna go and fight all these guys. I don't know, I guess she's always been kind of headstrong, but it just felt really dumb.
I do think they gave a good impression of panic and the desperation.
Yeah.
I do think that was actually really apparent.
Yeah.
I do think.
Everyone's screaming it under their pile of White Walkers.
Yeah, I do think that was
but
actually.
then it's unjustified because apparently
Yes.
they're useless.
But I do think that was a good job
Yeah.
at making you feel like this is actually a dead loss. Which is why it was so annoying when they didn't lose.
Yeah.
Get rid of the main characters, as in kill more main characters. But then
I thought Tyrion and Sansa were gonna die.
take the remaining characters who are living
Yeah.
and they flee. Like with a small band of, I was about to say NPCs. Like, like
I
villagers,
guess.
whatever.
Yeah.
Take them off.
Testificates.
That would have been so much better. Like we've lost. They can't win. They can't win. And as much as I don't mind Arya, whatever her name is, killing the Night King too much,
It should have happened there.
it shouldn't have happened there.
I think Jon Snow also should have had
Sight
at least.
there was all those White Walker commanders just standing there. They didn't see her. Come on.
What would have been cool was if she was disguised as a White Walker. She hasn't used her faces in ages.
Yeah, that would be really cool actually.
And then she just pops out and kills him.
I do think that there's a few things that need to be explained. I think that Bran needs to have more significance, and I think that it is a huge hole in writing if they don't. I think
with Bran.
I think that they're going to address this in the final episode if they ever do. I think they need to show that Bran has affected events throughout Game of Thrones through time travel.
Yeah, I'd quite
Because
like that.
If they don't, then the whole Hodor thing is bizarre.
Yes.
Like, that was cool.
It was
Because
a
of
setup.
It it was cool on its own, but it was cooler because of the ramifications.
Yeah.
Oh, he can do that. The fact that they haven't touched on that again, surely that can't be. And they even had the scene where he found out about Jon Snow's parentage,
Yeah.
and then Ned Stark,
Saw him.
like sensed someone was there.
Yeah.
Come on, there's more to that than just
Yeah.
There must be more than just that.
They're kind of going the way of like, oh, Bran doesn't get involved in these affairs. He's too big for that. He's just collecting all the memories of the land. But it's like, but he has affected things, and it would feel weird if he,
And
it's just storytelling. Like, these things are set up. They should have payoffs.
Yes.
Like, if he created the Night King for whatever reason, because that Children of the Forest scene, there's not been another thing like that. The Children of the Forest creating the Night King. If he influenced that somehow for whatever reason. Also, no one in the South is going to believe them about the White Walkers.
I know. Also, Bran the Builder.
Bran the Builder. That's been mentioned, right?
But,
and what's his name? Aziz Ahai, whatever.
Who is... Okay, so...
That's been mentioned. The Prince Who Was Promised has been mentioned. Just say it was Arya.
Yes. I think it should be Arya.
Yeah.
Also...
I'd accept that's a good payoff, yeah.
Also... I think... apparently in the books... I haven't read the books, so forgive me if I'm wrong. This is based on the internet.
I've read the first book.
Apparently the Lord of Light and the Many-Faced God are essentially the same. I do think, given the importance of the Lord of Light, it would be a shame if they don't give a little bit more information about who the Lord of Light is. I think it would be very cool if it was Bran.
I was about to say the same thing. I read that yesterday. That Bran is the Lord of Light, and I quite liked it.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Is it? Let's be honest.
None of the good theories happen, Jamie. I need to stop reading theories and getting my hopes up.
And it wouldn't make too much sense either, because it's a bit far-fetched to imagine that Bran can make a shadow monster from a pregnant woman and set a load of swords on fire and all that crap.
I could buy it. If it was like, whoever is the three-eyed raven is the Lord of Light.
It makes sense in other ways, in that he is the anti-Night King.
Yeah, he's
and
the light to the dark.
The Lord of Light. They've said that his nemesis is
death.
Like death, yeah.
Yeah.
So that it makes sense. Like there's a link.
And the Night King.
And I think it would be actually kind of strange if they acknowledged the Lord of Light as a separate entity. It'd be a bit abrupt and like, oh, I guess okay, it's just some guy, or it's obviously not a guy, it's some god.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Lord of Light has an apostle, same way as the Lord of Death, or whatever the death as a concept also has like a being in which they control.
Oh, I see what you
Not
mean.
control, but like
that would also explain why Bran's so weird.
yes. When did Bran become weird?
My chair is comfy. Beginning of season 7, pretty much.
Because
It was pretty much mid-season 6 to 7.
It was kind of quite quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It went from like him, because when the whole hold the door thing, he was Bran, and then some time after that he became the three-eyed raven.
Yeah, end of season 6 he was a bit weird, and then beginning of season 7 he was just fully weird.
Out of nowhere, I seem to remember.
A little. It was a bit gradual, and then by season 7 you haven't seen him in a while, so it's kind of like. I found that pretty okay. The transition to weirdness.
I want him to be weird. He deserves to be weird. He should be weird.
Yeah.
He has all that knowledge. He knows everything.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about Bran. I really don't have an issue with Bran.
I don't have an issue with Bran as a character.
I just hope they do more with him. Yeah. Yes. Bran is a person, and I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, the Night King isn't in the books. Don't know if you knew that.
Isn't in the books. I think I did know that.
He was basically in a scene as a normal White Walker, and people liked him, so they just kind of made him the head White Walker. And the whole concept of if you kill a White Walker, all the ones that the White Walker term dies, not in the books, because obviously that was like season 7. And I think that concept in general really ruined a lot of it for me. That just made it. I was like, oh, they just have to kill the Night King and we're dead.
I mean, the fact that it was brought up immediately revealed how they're going to do it.
Exactly, and it would have just been so much better if they had to kill every single one. That would have been really, really like horrifying. Even if they kill the White Walkers and then like that's okay, no one else can be turned.
It's the same conversation that we had, that they should have been an unrelenting force that cannot be stopped, and that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't have that
don't-
obvious, ridiculous weak spot, then would have been an issue.
Big orange glow, basically.
It kind of annoys me that the Night King even had to go in there anyway. Like, why couldn't the Night King just stay in the north, like the north,
Or
The
at
real
Tormund. I mean, yeah, we don't even know.
Sorry, Abel. Yes.
We don't even know why he stood up to Bran and was staring at him for like 6 minutes.
Nope.
What was he gonna do? I wanted something. I wanted him to talk, okay? I admit it. I wanted to hear him speak.
So no.
I don't care if it's out of character. He's not out of character.
I
He's
want
not
you
out of
to
character.
And I wanted Bran to reply in his language, because he knows everything.
That would have been so cool if he spoke a different language and Bran replied in a
Right.
different language.
Do you
And then we
know
just didn't know what they said.
you know what would have been cool?
What?
Well, this is a bit weird, but
I wanted Jon to marry the Night King.
this is a bit weird, but I want you to picture this and think how cool this would have been. The Night King looks at him, and they either he stabs him and makes contact, not stabs, but slashes him and makes contact, or touches Bran, and they both disappear. That's it. They just disappear.
Yeah.
And they don't explain. They obviously eventually do. But initially it's like...
Show ends completely.
How... Okay, and like it explains that like there's maybe some trickery that Bran's done. And he's like... They're like fighting on a different plane, because he's disabled, but he's not as the three-eyed raven. And so he like takes him to somewhere where he can fight him.
Yeah.
And it's like this like mental war.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
But how eerie would it have been if they just disappeared, like as in like just gone, and then
The White Walkers just walk away.
Or they just stand there. They just stand there, like stationary, and like everyone's like looking around, and they're just standing there. And then it ends. How eerie and cool would that be?
That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
That's a really, really specific, weird thing.
I know.
But that would be cool.
It's a bit of a weird thing.
I also wanted Jon
This was from a book I read actually, but yeah.
Fair. I wanted Jon to fight the three-eyed raven. The three-eyed raven stabs Bran. I wanted Jon to fight the Night King at some point. I don't think Jon should have killed him because I agree with what you said. It had to be some sort of trickery. But if he had a little sword fight with the Night King, because it's been built up, like he's been warning everyone about the Night King. The Night King's basically been Jon's specific nemesis. They should have had a little tussle or something.
They had a tussle on dragons. That counts.
Oh, I guess that counts. The dragons were just annoying. They were just flying way too high. Like, where's everyone?
Yes.
It's like, right, move the trebuchets back, put the dragons there, and fire them. Right, episode 4. We have moved on to episode 4. Oh my god, Jamie, talking about episode 3 was so long.
So episode 4 was
Episode 4 was...
Okay, go on.
You can go
My
first.
opinion of episode 4
Yeah.
is that even... So we accept that the writing's been bad, etc.
Yeah.
And that would, if the writing was better, it would improve the show. However, episode 4 highlighted that maybe they should have split the 6 episodes in this season, not into 10 episodes, but into 20, spread across 2 seasons. Because the amount of teleportation and just poor timing. So, okay, I'm going to bring it up.
I know what you're going to mention.
So scene 1, you have Daenerys and Jon don't tell Sansa, she's going to tell everyone. And then scene 2, well, okay, it's like they talk about battlements, but then after that, that's pretty much straight after.
Yeah.
He tells Sansa. The scene after that tells Tyrion immediately. Okay. So that is stupid writing to do in that short time period, because it's like, are you kidding me? Like, what? This is like baby writing here. Like, oh, don't do that because she'll tell him. No, he won't. Tell him. Actually, yeah, you're right. She did tell everyone else. Wow, what incredible writing. What a waste of bloody time.
Me and Jamie have aggressively been sending back and forth a meme from Reddit where Sansa says, Tyrion, Jon is Targaryen, and then Jon says, Sansa, you're still talking to me. I think that sums it up.
It's okay, but okay. That would have been fine if it was like 4 episodes apart. I'm not joking. I would have been like, she's like playing around with her hair. Like, what do I do? Give it maybe 4 fat whole episodes, and then she tells Tyrion, like, fine. I don't even care that Daenerys predicted it at that point. It's like, you've given me a realistic length of time for her to hold a secret, and not just because I don't like Sansa at all, right? I think she's terrible.
Yeah.
And that just makes me hate her. Like, why are you doing this? You just
Especially when Varys explicitly says, how many people know? And he's like, I don't know, 6. And he's like, well, hundreds will know soon enough.
Yeah, because Sansa's going to individually go around to every NPC in Winterfell and be like, oh, by the way,
right, you know what,
Jon's
though?
Targaryen,
I do like
Targaryen.
I do like Sansa a lot more this season
I can't stand her.
than for a long time. It really annoyed me when everyone kept saying, Sansa's the smartest person I know.
Oh, God!
Thanks for telling us. Can you show us?
That irritated me beyond
She's
belief.
never shown being that
No,
clever.
he has
Battle of
not.
the Bastards. She didn't tell anyone what Littlefinger was going to do. Littlefinger shouldn't have died. Littlefinger invented the Game of Thrones. He should have been like a big player. He should have showed up at the end like, oh, Littlefinger's been doing all this all along, and then he just died to Sansa and Arya.
Very pretty cool.
Because they're like really good apparently.
He
Oh,
felt like an underbaked character, actually.
he
Like,
should have but he should have been like that. He should have been really in the background.
that's what I mean, though. That's what I mean, though. He
You mean
should
in a good
have
way?
extended
Can I
longer.
have some of this?
Obviously.
Oh, I thought it was your keg.
I didn't bring it in just for me. We've seen how much is in there.
Right, highlight of last episode. Varys in general. It felt like Varys again. Varys was really good. I really liked him.
It only hasn't felt like Varys because
He hasn't been in it.
at all.
Yeah.
And he used to be amazing and
Yeah.
be like, he was like a good Littlefinger.
No, yeah, Varys and Littlefinger were my favourite characters in the
Yeah.
early seasons because for the longest time you didn't know what they were doing. You thought Varys was bad and Littlefinger was good at one point, and then
Yes.
it kind of shifts.
And now it's no doubt that
Varys
Littlefinger's
is good.
bad and Varys is good. We know that.
Yeah, which definitely ruins some of it. But I still love Varys because he doesn't care about politics. He's like, I want a good person in power.
Yeah.
Don't care what I have to do that. And yeah, his dialogue with Tyrion was definitely a highlight. It felt really old school Game of Thrones for the first time in ages. Still wasn't quite as good, but it felt like Game of Thrones again. With him saying like, oh, then everyone's going to know, blah, 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 blah. Rather than Tyrion making dickless jokes to Varys. That felt weirdly out of character.
Very out of character.
He's completely changed. This smells nice.
Yeah, like we've done that. This is pretty delicious, I think.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
That's my review.
This is the location of where the brewery is gold.
Ooh. London Gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's so much. Okay,
I'm gonna keep freaking out.
I actually don't want to go too much into this because I don't know. I think for episode 4, it's so obvious where the bad points were. That it's not even worth discussing particularly. It's just kind of like stating the facts.
If there was ever a good example
These are
of the dropping quality of Game of Thrones, it's that Starbucks mug, Starbucks cup. What a great metaphor.
kind of probably is because they're doing a bad job though, isn't it?
No, how did no one notice? How? Explain to me. Did they only do one take? Because you would do multiple takes. if they only did one take, that would have gone through
How did
many editors, directors, everyone on the set would have been there. How did
Amelia Clark sit in front of a Starbucks cup? Like, did they just film her without saying action? Seriously. How did she not? How did she?
The whole scene of her looking around wasn't actually like in the script. It was just Amelia Clark being sad because none of the cast would talk to her.
Did they just do that? Because surely you'd be like, all right, let's She was drinking the coffee. She was like, oh crap.
It is unfathomable. It is like that must have been intentional for the memes.
Honestly, okay, I'm sure this isn't. If I was an actor, I wouldn't have anything on set. If I want to have a coffee, just put it in the corner where no one's being filmed. Like, don't. This isn't like this is a film set. Don't go and just.
Or if you set a coffee down.
Put the coffee like 2 meters behind you with the camera.
If you set the coffee down, you'll think, right, I've got to move that when we start filming. Or just. There's got to be hundreds of people on these sets, right?
Also,
how did no one see it?
Or that.
She's got assistants.
Also, right? Can we just imagine? This situation, right? Why was she sitting there drinking a coffee in the first place? Seriously, why did she choose to sit down there? The specific position where she was supposed to sit.
We don't know it's hers. In fairness, someone could
hers.
have walked past and put it down there.
But that's even dumber.
I mean, there's no situation in which it isn't incredibly unbelievable. I do not believe that it was an accident. I think someone planted it there. I think the director was like, leave it there. We'll get loads of memes. I can't imagine in reality where anything other than that happened.
It's probably the most... one of the most noticeable... Yeah. I think... close contender with Stormtrooper bashing its head on the wall, because that's really noticeable.
That's good. And also in the extended, not the the director's cut, whatever it was, George Lucas put a bonk noise in to make it more noticeable, which is really funny. But that's like that fits. Stormtroopers are kind of dopey.
George Lucas and his edits, Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
Christ. That's
a whole nother podcast. I just want to say, I think we should move on to Marvel after this.
Yeah, I agree.
This could be an extra long one. We've got a while. Have fun rendering. Starbucks cup.
I sorted my PC out, so it's actually doing it quickly.
That's good. So I think we've said everything we need to say about Starbucks cup.
Yes.
However, I've forgotten what I was going to say. I think I was just going to generally...
Pause what you're saying?
Yeah. Euron in the books is an amazing, horrifying character. He gets banished because he raped someone or something, I can't remember. And he goes to... Valyria, where no one ever returns from, and it's like an uncharted, horrifying hell that's barely mentioned, and it's really cool and creepy. And then he returns with loads of horrifying magical items.
Valyria is where all those weird monsters that came from the sea attacked Tyrion and
Jorah.
Oh
yeah, that's where the stone men are sent.
Yes, that's old Valyria.
Yeah. It's in the books. It's like weird monster place where no one ever comes back from. Cool. It's really mysterious. Cool. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like no one knows anything about this place, and it's huge, and it's just never mentioned, which is cool. But so yeah, Euron returns from there with all these weird artifacts and stuff, and he has all these magical powers. He has all these abilities, like he can control weather. He has a horn where if you blow it, you can control dragons, but you also die. Loads of cool stuff like this, and he's a horrifying character. He's really scary. He has a brother who I think is really dumb and kind of follows him along, and I think he rapes his brother's wife, and then his brother has to kill his wife because it's their culture that if your wife sleeps with another man you have to kill her or something weird like that. And Euron just does loads of really messed up stuff, and people I haven't read this far. Shouldn't read spoilers on the internet, but I do. But people say when you read about Euron in the books, it's really scary because he's such a scary character. And there's someone where they say about he's an unholy man, and he's like, I'm the holiest man of all. Whenever people see me, they pray to their gods. And he's hundreds of gods have been prayed to when people see me. Really cool lines, really badass lines of dialogue. And he's so dumb in the show. He just wants to bang the queen. There's nothing to him in the show. It's so annoying because when you read this, it's like it's going back to what I said earlier. Why would they change that? It's better in the book. Make him scary.
In the show?
I barely remember when.
I don't actually remember when he was.
Yara.
My memory of the only time I can remember him being introduced is when he just randomly turns up
At King's Landing.
Well, no, not at King's Landing. On the beach at the Greyjoys' castle, and
I think that is his introduction.
yeah, is that
when
introduced?
Yara
Okay.
takes Theon back to the Iron Islands.
Yeah,
he comes and he kills their
I
dad.
kind of felt that was a bit random. It's like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah, because that's kind of how he's introduced in the books. It's like he returns from Valyria then and just kills their dad and takes over.
But they didn't explain that he went to Valyria.
I don't think they mentioned that in the show.
Because
if they did, it wasn't a big aspect.
Really cool. I didn't know that until just now. That's awesome.
I think I read something saying like
amazing.
the idea in the books is that Tywin's like the political evil with all these weird strategies and kind of controlling everything in a evil sort of way, and then Ramsay's like the human evil, which is just a human who's purely, I don't know what word I'm looking for, I guess evil, like just lacks emotion, just wants to cause pain and chaos and stuff.
That's cool, isn't it?
And then Theon is the third act villain, and he's like the supernatural evil, where he's just unexplainable and he's creepy and he's got these weird powers. Sorry, Euron.
Right.
And yeah, he's like the final godly evil because he's just got all these horrible powers and these weird
artifacts. Than he could possibly.
And I get if they didn't want to make it too fantastical, but like just make him a creepy character. Bring his brother in. His brother's a big aspect of the book.
I mean, he's
him.
obviously disgusting, but he's like disgusting in like a way that some
a Jack Sparrow sort of way.
Let's not give him that. He's disgusting in a way that some random like background like drunk character in some show would be.
Yeah.
Oh, get over here, you! Blah. That's all he is.
No, that is.
He's
That's
literally
entirely
just
it.
I have no interest in that character at all. It's really interesting that you just told me about his magic powers.
It's really cool in the book.
Cool.
I think he's like a big villain in the book, and it's just like, oh, this is so annoying.
Which makes sense because now he is kind of a big villain.
Well, yeah, he's like the second biggest villain after Cersei. That's another thing that's just good and evil now. It was good when it was like you don't know which side to root for. Even season 7, it was like I still want Jaime to live.
Yeah.
Jaime and Bronn. But yeah, I'm gonna say one last thing, and then I think we should move on.
Yeah, agreed. We can talk Endgame spoilers.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna want to do. It's not Rhaegon. It is Rhaegon. Rhaegon's death. Rhaegon's death. That's been talked about. It's death. Get it?
Terrible.
They're flying on dragons really high up.
But a terrible cinema perspective. It was just like it was as unimportant as some random dude getting killed.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh.
He died randomly, and then they appeared from the mountains. So how did they hit him from behind the mountains? How did no one see them? They keep doing this where Euron's fleet appear out of nowhere. There's a scene of the director.
I know.
I know.
What
I'm going to say.
Daenerys didn't know about it.
Daenerys has kind of forgot about Euron's fleet.
Oh yeah, it's not even didn't know. Yeah, forgot.
What?
Why did you forget anything?
What? How did you forget Euron's fleet?
Okay, I can't.
That's the second advantage. Like, she has the Golden Company, she has Euron's fleet.
Also, aside from the fact that she obviously bloody would not forget about that.
Yeah.
In real life, people forget about stuff, right? They make mistakes.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't think it's an opinion, this is just true fact, okay? If you're doing a story, you can't have a plot point be because a character forgot.
It's too convenient.
It just doesn't work. You have to have a purpose. You have to have a reason. Has to have something. It can't just be, they got shot. Oh, I forgot that I put bullets in that gun. Dead. Well, no. Although people do in real life forget they load guns and then shoot themselves by accident. That doesn't. In a book, you can't have that.
You have to have a setup and payoff.
It's boring as shit.
That's it. It's just boring. There needs to be there's story rules and structures that we follow for reasons.
Because it's
and it's
interesting.
not following
We
them.
we want to be excited by stories. Especially Game of Thrones.
Also, they can just kill dragons with like wooden weapons that shoot these metal arrows. How did any of the Targaryens take Westeros in the first place with dragons? They're so easily killed now. They shoot them with the.
No, I'm actually okay with that.
I'm not.
Mm.
Their
Really,
scales are supposed to be impenetrable.
no, realistically, a Ballister should be able to penetrate a dragon. I think.
Okay, I can accept that Ballister can
And
penetrate
I
a
think
dragon.
I think if you're being optimistic and trying to trying to understand the logic here, Game of Thrones is not real life. It is a fantasy world. It's not completely outrageous to think that the idea of a Ballister is completely unknown, except
Didn't they
as
set
like
up
an
the
ancient
rules
weapon.
that the dragons are impenetrable scales?
But I don't like that rule then, because that's not okay to have an instant kill. You can't. I don't think it's cool to have dragons which are just nuclear
I'm
bombs.
pretty sure I can kill him in other ways though. Rather than them just getting shot. Okay, sure, I can accept it. But he shot them from behind a mountain for one,
Mm-hmm.
on a moving boat.
I don't even care about the logistics. It shouldn't have happened from a storytelling perspective.
Oh yeah, and that. And they would just kept shooting them. Like, how are they reloading that fast? They're reloading quicker than an assault rifle.
The second dragon should have died in the big battle.
In the battle.
And it should have been a big deal, because the dragons are a big deal. They're a big part of the story. They're, whenever people were having discussions about Game of Thrones, years ago, it was always like, when Daenerys gets to mainland,
With her dragons.
she's got dragons. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be cool. I haven't had that payoff yet, man.
They're just getting rid of the dragons to
I
even the
haven't had
playing
that payoff.
field.
When she, about the same time that she arrived in Westeros, was about the same time that the writing got shit. That's sad, isn't it?
No, it is. And also, she could have just gone behind the boats and burned with the dragons, but she flies into them and screams, and it manages to avoid all the arrows, even though Rhaegon couldn't do that at
Also,
all.
Sunday was just dying.
Yeah, I kind of like that in fairness.
That's rubbish. It's like, oh, how the hell? Firstly,
It was rubbish that she was
all these people
captured.
escaped. And, she's captured, and then this is why I think that the show, this 6 episodes should be 20.
Yeah.
She was captured, and like 10 minutes later, killed. No, this is Game of Thrones. You have 3 episodes of her being tortured.
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
Also,
where she just.
how was she captured?
I know, but do you know what I mean? Like,
No, I do know what you
Don't
mean.
you think that should have been spread over like 3
No.
episodes of like.
The pacing
oh
is
God,
all off.
totally off. Why would they do 6 episodes?
But then
George Martin even said that he wanted this to be 2 seasons. Whole
Oh
seasons.
yeah, he doesn't watch Game
He
of
said
Thrones
that.
anymore.
But you know what I mean?
He
Like,
says go watch this show instead. It's really good.
ugh.
Yeah, which I'm gonna watch. I think it's called The Last Kingdom. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, the pacing is all off. They're killing off dragons just to even the playing field, completely nonsensically and annoyingly. Everyone is dumb. I hate it. I want something different. They sat the dragon down right in front of the ballista arrows,
Yes.
so they could just kill him. I do
okay,
like Daenerys becoming
okay.
the Mad King because I
Right.
predicted that from like season 1.
Jack, let's have a little. Okay.
Take me there, Jamie.
Cersei
Mm.
does not play by the rules.
Mm.
We know this. She's frequently done stuff which is like politically, you know what I mean.
She blew up the scepter Balon.
Yeah, she doesn't give a damn. She's crazy. She's pretty crazy. She's a monster, basically. Yeah. Why did she not just kill everyone?
Mm.
Why?
At
did she
least
not
the
kill-
dragon.
At least dragon. At least like Tyrion. Doesn't she hate him? She got a mercenary to go and kill him.
Mm.
Like, you've got archers, so you can take care of the men and aim all of your ballisters, all of them, at the dragon. End of show. Like that.
The ballisters are rapid fire. They can
She's
just
a
keep
monster.
going.
Why? Okay, logically, if she doesn't give a shit about the rules, because if she was being like courteous, which people were in the medieval ages, people were bizarrely courteous and would be like, no, you send your king to us and we won't kill him, and they didn't because it was courteous. That's what they did back then. She's shown that she's not courteous, So kill them. Kill them. Why should they? Why should they be alive?
Also, remember the episode early on where she went to that witch and she said it should have 3 children who will die? She better not have this kid, or they've forgotten all about that scene. And Tyrion announced that she was pregnant. If Euron doesn't figure out that she's lying to him, because how would Tyrion know she was pregnant?
Yes.
Then he is an absolute moron. I have one final thing to say, Jamie.
No. He will figure that out because
He better.
I do believe in the writers, because when I say believe in the writers, they've obviously shown that they love putting the most stupidly obvious foreshadowing and then paying it off, because that's what we've been doing recently. And
I do hope so.
no, that was intentional. He even looked at Cersei. Like, that's happening. He knows.
Okay. One final thing I want to say.
Yep.
Melisandre does Daenerys' hair. So, sorry, Missandei.
Melisandre.
Missandei does Daenerys' hair. Will her braids now become less elaborate?
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Also got that on Reddit. And Justice for Ghost. Avengers Endgame.
So, I watched Avengers Endgame recently.
Describe it in half a word for me. What word could that be? Finish the
I'll
word.
figure out. What's so important about that whole movie?
I said a word.
Yes, half a word actually.
I said half a word.
You did say half a word. I've given you half a word.
Do you say I'm?
It's more like it's 4/5 of a word.
Inevitable.
It's actually 3/4 of a word.
Okay, go on then. What were you going to say?
Time.
You did the end of the word. Well, you did the beginning of the word.
That wasn't specified. You said half a word.
We've been talking about this for too long.
So
Okay.
well,
So I asked for your opinion. You said the word time. Carry on.
well, it was sick. I really liked it.
Mm.
Let me have a little think. I thought Endgame was good. I thought
A little disclaimer: we're both massive Marvel fans and
Of
have
course.
seen all the movies.
Of course, there were issues, but basically, okay, right. But basically, it was like really cool. I actually thought that the way they did time travel was okay. Ignore the ending.
Yeah.
The way they did time travel.
You mean the very, very
the very
ending? Yeah.
Except for for the majority of the film, the time travel logic
Was solid.
so good.
Yeah.
Like, whoa! Like, wow! You're actually doing time travel. There aren't.
No, I like the way
there
they
aren't
did
that many
it.
holes in that. Like, cool, yeah. And
It's a smart way
it's
to
not
do
the same
it.
reality. Like, you're going back in time to it, and it's not their same reality. Like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, that's good.
Yeah.
And then they ruin it at the end.
With Steve Rogers.
Totally ruin it. No, they do.
No, I'm trying to think if there's a way it could make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Could it be that he went back there to their reality,
No,
stuffed himself back in the machine,
Mm-mm.
and then walked over to the bench?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because that's obviously not what happened. It was very, very obvious that
He'd lived out his life in that reality.
Yes, and,
Okay.
they showed that wasn't the case of how they're doing time travel. And I think the way they did time travel. Was
Did they make it that
extremely
obvious
good.
that was what happened though? They probably did.
they
I can't
did.
remember the scene
Okay,
explicitly.
here you go. Here's an explicit. I remember it really well. I
Yeah,
thought,
you've seen it more recently than I have.
yeah. They had the time machine.
Mm.
Captain America beeps away.
Yeah.
And they got all the time machine, all the characters. Where is it? It was taking ages. And the camera focuses in on the background, and you've got a guy
Sitting
back
down.
towards, back away from them,
Mm.
and it's Steve Rogers, but old. They are absolutely insinuating that he was there the entire time, and he was waiting for them to notice that he was gone because he remembers it. Because he didn't go back to a different reality. He went back in time to the same reality. It's suggesting that old Steve Rogers was
there.
alive through the entire events of the Avengers. He could have died He
In the
actually could
snap.
have died in the snap. Like, that is not okay.
Yeah, but he still could have snapped back to there like an hour before and then walked and sat down on the bench.
It's a shame because
I'm just saying he could have done that.
it's a cool way of getting rid of Captain America.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that it ruins everything.
But can we agree that he could have done that?
No.
He could have snapped back there an hour before and went and sat down on the bench.
But the time machine was just right there. You
Yeah.
would have seen him. It was there. They were looking at it. They were waiting for Captain America to appear.
No, I mean if he went back to there but an hour before when he was old. As in he went back to where the time machine is an hour before they arrived at the time machine.
That's too much of a reach for me.
I don't think that is. I think he could have done that.
No, when we're talking about a film,
He was ready to snap back.
You can't just like make holes in the story. You can't just be like, oh, but he could have done that. Like, yes, but they clearly did not intend for that to be what.
I don't really think they intended that he stayed in that reality though.
Absolutely, they did. He was there at the bench the whole time.
What, for the entire scene?
I bet if you watched it again, he was there for the entire scene.
Okay, but he would have been because he snapped back an hour before. I should stop saying snap. That has other implications when we're talking about the Avengers.
But that is an unfair.
No, it's fair to make. You know, people always complain about nitpicking and stuff, but it's like, why not? I want to. Writing is a big part of filmmaking. I'm going to complain about plot holes.
What do you think of Endgame?
I really, really liked it. I agree there were some logical time travel issues. However, he did snap back an hour before when he was old. Confirmed. It's canon now. The main thing was, why didn't they just go back in time and get more pin particles? I mean, I know they did in the end.
They did.
Why didn't they plan to do that? They were like, we can only do this once. Let's go get more pin particles. Do that straight away, and you got more. You're smart, guys. You got the Hulk. He's smart.
You would have thought that if they were smart enough to invent time travel, that they would probably.
Especially Scott. He knows all about Pym. But yeah, anyway. That's probably the main thing I thought while watching it. Other than that, I really, really liked it.
I really liked the film.
I mean, there was so much fan
man.
service, but
Okay,
you've got to watch like 30 films to watch this one, so why not fill it with fan service?
No, but it wasn't fan service in a bad way at all. I thought.
No.
This was actually a reward.
It was a love letter to the Avengers and to Marvel.
This was actually a film where I can say that it's much better to watch.
Also,
if you've seen all the other ones beforehand.
Yes. Also, Jamie, it subverted my expectations in the best way possible.
What?
I didn't think a lot of it would happen. I didn't think it would be time travel. I didn't think Thanos would die immediately. I didn't think the stones would be gone. It would snap to 5 years later. I didn't expect any of that to happen. I predicted
time travel.
I did predict time travel because I thought, how else are they going to do it? But I didn't predict time travel in that way. I thought it'd be the time stone or something dumb, and I was like, oh, that would be boring. But then it was like 5 years. Hawkeye turned into Ronin.
I predicted.
I didn't see any of that coming.
I definitely predicted time travel, and I kind of thought that it was gonna tie into the whole quantum world thing, because it's like you can't introduce the quantum world and then not.
Yes, in fairness.
Into the Avengers.
I mean, in fairness, I did read a lot of fan theories that would be how they did it online.
But it was good.
I still thought they were going to do the time stone.
I loved the fact that the whole thing takes place 5 years later, and that's just it now.
Yeah.
That's canon. Like that. Every Marvel movie from now on is 5 years in the future from the snap. That's sick. That's
Do you know
great.
what's weird though? Like, you know, at the end, Peter Parker's back to school.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, half my class have graduated. They're 5 years older. Did people still go to school? One thing I would have liked more of was reality collapsing when half the population vanishes.
You just brought up an amazing point.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's really weird. Because at the end he sees Ned and they're like, oh my god, we're both alive and we're both the same age. But like, there's such weird implications to that.
Ooh, I like that.
Because half the population are 5 years older than they were before.
I think they're going to play to it as well.
I hope they do.
I think they do, because... No, I think they will, because they have established that characters have aged and they... You know what I mean? Like, the Ant-Man's daughter aging and they're not being stupid.
That's what I mean. They addressed it.
They're addressing these things.
Yeah.
Also, it kind of, in a way, lived up to a personal, not theory, like want of mine.
Yeah.
I
Hope.
wanted Endgame to take place in an apocalypse,
Hmm.
and it half did.
Well, I thought that was pretty guaranteed.
As in, no, but this was before I watched Infinity War.
Oh, okay.
I wanted the films to take place. I actually wanted to have several films take place in an apocalypse, actually.
Hmm.
And although it wasn't an apocalypse, it was just like a half apocalypse.
That's what I mean. I would have liked more of that.
I would have
I
preferred.
know it was 3 hours long, but you know.
But you did get a good impression that
People living on Liberty Island,
it
whatever
was
it's
messy
called.
and people. It wasn't good. Like, society was bad, and they did mention like other countries were finding it bad, and it was well done. I think.
I really like what they were doing in that time as well. Steve Rogers was just at meetings with guys. That was nice.
And also, Black Widow was kind of just trying to rekindle the past, but no one was really interested because they were too depressed.
She was really good. I was really sad to see her go. I thought that was good. However, I would have been so angry if Hawkeye died. Like, you have a family.
Yeah.
Let her die. No one loves her except the Hulk.
I was thinking
He's too
like,
big now.
When they said there's only one person who can do this, I thought, well, actually, yes, Black Widow should
I thought she was referring to herself. Sorry, I've just had a flashback. The opening scene was incredible. That was so good.
Don't remind me.
Hawkeye with his family.
Oh yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
That was potentially my favourite scene in any Marvel film.
And to then have him be this criminal.
He became Ronin. Became a
really cool
vigilante.
Yeah.
That opening scene was absolutely incredible. That was probably my favourite part of the whole film, which I know sounds bad because it was the first thing, but it was just so good and it got me so hyped. I loved how prominent Ant-Man was, because Paul Rudd definitely gets a really bad shtick with the films he's in Marvel films.
Even though Ant-Man movies are perfectly fine, I think.
Yeah, but they're just the worst Marvel films by far, except for Thor 2.
And Captain Marvel.
I quite liked Captain
I
Marvel.
haven't seen it, by the way.
No.
Could not stand her. My God.
She's definitely more annoying in Endgame than she is in her own film.
She was such a bad character, man.
Yeah, she was just... Because she wasn't really like that in Captain Marvel.
How weird.
She was more... she was a bit towards the end, but she was more kind of like a bit of an underdog. She doesn't have a memory. She doesn't really know what's going on. She's slightly like that, but she's still likable enough for me.
I appreciate the inclusion of her because
it wouldn't make sense
as the
otherwise.
as the MCU goes on, they're going to introduce more galactic scale characters, and you can't justify War Machine or someone like Hawkeye, like
Or Black Widow.
they're gonna bring in Galactus, right? Okay, it's happening.
I'm thinking that's the next big villain.
Galactus is coming in. Well, you say that, but the whole multiverse thing going on. I think Galactus should be the next big villain.
Yeah.
There's no evidence for that though.
Or Doctor Doom.
Not as a big villain.
Oh, Doctor Doom would be a really good big villain if done right. If he had if he
Galactus
united
is
villains.
way cooler though.
No, Galactus is
he eats planets.
Galactus is kind of
I want to call it get.
incomparable.
Also, we haven't had a good Galactus yet.
Yeah.
We haven't
had a good
Purple
Doctor
Mist.
Doom either.
No. I want Doctor Doom. I think Doctor Doom's cool. I'm just saying,
He's not big enough
I
scale.
think Galactus is a good. He trumps Thanos as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And he's a Celestial, right?
he's probably the second most powerful Marvel character.
But
That's
isn't
probably not true, but
Isn't he a Celestial?
I think he is.
So that would go in with the whole. They've got
Ego.
there's a Celestials movie coming out.
Oh, really?
Because
wait, Ego was a Celestial, right?
Yes.
Star-Lord's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Galactus is, and
Yeah.
and that whole there's a big backstory to that. Like the Celestials had a civilization, and it was really cool. That's a cool
Yeah.
thing. And the Silver Surfer is.
They
really
could also
cool.
could they tie that into the Infinity Stones?
Yes, absolutely.
Because they said an ancient civilization
would-
created the Infinity Stones, but I don't think they said who.
It would be a shame if the Infinity Stones are never brought up again. I think they should still have an inclusion.
I would like that, but I wouldn't mind if they didn't, because they've been prominent for so long.
No.
I feel like they're going to want to bring in a new MacGuffin.
No, they will. I just think it'd be a shame if they were completely ignored from then now on.
Did I say that Dr. Manhattan was a Marvel character earlier? Because he's a DC character and I'm ashamed of myself. I might have just thought that in my head, in which case I've exposed myself to the world.
I suppose you didn't say that.
I probably
I
didn't.
would have corrected you.
I think I said Galactus was the second most powerful Marvel character, and in my head I was thinking that Dr. Manhattan was the first.
Yeah, you didn't actually say that.
Oh man, I shouldn't have said anything. Edit this out.
Also, I feel like Galactus is better than Dr. Manhattan.
I don't know, Dr. Manhattan's like...
Does Dr. Manhattan eat planets?
No, but he can do anything. He's literally unlimitedly powerful. It's like, oh, I can do anything. I can control science. He probably can eat a planet.
Can we
Just make it small.
something Watchmen related? Please, I love the Watchmen.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But Jamie, the trailer for HBO's Watchmen came out today.
You're being serious?
Yes, I was about to bring it up.
Well, forgive me if it came out today. I've been at work, man.
No, I'm just blown away that you said that because I was about to bring it up, and then
Oh.
you just said you want something Watchmen related, and it blew my
Oh,
mind.
brilliant. That's
Yeah.
sick. HBO.
It's like, yeah, they're shipping it as like the
Budget.
next Game of Thrones after Game of Thrones finishes.
Yes, I love Watchmen.
I think it's set after the comics, which is
You know-
interesting.
You know what's going to be... I wasn't a huge fan of the film, actually. But
I quite like the film. I haven't read enough of the
I-
comics to...
I really like the characters a lot. I thought the characters were awesome. I didn't think the film did it for me. But I really want them to expand on the Watchmen because I.
Do you mind if I spoil the comics a bit for you?
Yeah, I don't mind.
I believe it's set after the comics, after Rorschach dies.
Okay.
And it looks like there's like a cult of people who like worshipped Rorschach. It looks like Fight Clubby, where there's this gang of men wearing Rorschach masks.
One sec.
Go for it.
I know I keep doing this today, but
Jamie's having a poo.
this is good. We're having a good combo.
Yeah, it looks like there's like a gang of people like wearing Rorschach masks, like worshipping him, and like they're planning
Very
this
cool.
big rebellion or something. And all the characters are older because it's after the comics. It looks cool.
That's the vibe they were going for in the film. Though they were like kind of retired, weren't they? That was the whole deal.
You might be right, actually.
They were superheroes in like the Vietnam War, and then in the show, the whole thing was them getting back together again, and they were all kind of a bit washed up.
I think that's the plot in the comics, though.
I don't know. All I know about Watchmen is the film, and a bit.
I know
a bit,
extremely little about the comics.
a bit of research that I did online about the characters specifically, like Dr. Manhattan, but
Yeah.
because I was like, hang on, this guy, I need more.
Yeah. No, I think I might be wrong. I haven't read many of the comics, and I haven't read the first comics, but I think it's set where they've been like outlawed, basically. It's the Incredibles, and I think Dr. Manhattan is like brought in as like, oh, you've got superpowers, can we use you? And then stuff happens. Avengers Endgame.
Anyway. What else wanted to say? Well,
Oh, Black Widow movie.
prequel for sure.
I would like it if it was set in the 5 years where she's doing stuff. I'd like it if there was some plot there. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Although,
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Oh, when she's evil and then she meets Hawkeye and he turns out good. That'd be better, actually, than what I
That's
said.
exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. When she was like an evil assassin.
Because we know that she's an evil assassin. We haven't seen that.
Yeah, that would be cool, actually.
We saw glimpses of that when she was first introduced in the Avengers. I think it was. Was it Avengers?
No, she was first introduced in the Avengers, yeah.
We see glimpses of her being ruthless. Obviously, as her character goes on, she becomes more of a human.
She wasn't. She was introduced in Iron Man 2. We're both idiots. She was introduced in Iron Man 2.
You know what? It's funny because I was playing the scene that she's introduced in my head because I remember it.
Yeah, where she's walking down the hallway.
And I did think that was Avengers, but no, it is definitely Iron Man 2. Yeah, for sure.
And we kind of saw a bit in Age of Ultron. Scarlet Witch does a weird flashback stuff.
I think there's room. I think if we're going to do a Black Widow movie, that's surely the most interesting.
Black Widow's a
thing to
really
do.
good character, and I hope they do more with her. 'Cause she's so underused.
Very underused.
Not so underused. Pretty underused. I like her a lot, and I used to get enough fanfare when she died. She didn't get a funeral.
She had plenty of fanfare.
I don't know. There was like a scene where on the doc was sad about her, but I was like,
The
I'd
movie
like
was-
if they did a joint funeral of
the movie
her
was
and Iron Man.
3
at the
hours
end.
long. Also, here's a
More,
question.
Jamie.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
So this is research I haven't done, so I'm going to come across as ignorant. You might know the answer to this, you might not.
Oh, I definitely will.
But
I know everything.
Our many listeners will know the answer to this, I'm sure. There'll be some Marvel
Yeah,
nerds out there.
or one of them.
And when Vision dies, he goes grey.
Yeah.
And that is a character. I think it's White Vision or grey or White Vision is
Yeah.
actually a character in the comics.
Okay.
And I feel like they're not done with Vision because it was quite surprising that he just died and didn't come back, and that's it. He's gone. Same with Loki, actually. It surprises me that he's just dead.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be cool. Loki can die because they've done him to death. But
Oh, I don't know. I feel like
Vision-
do more Loki.
when he turned grey,
Mm.
we see that happen, and that is intentional.
I know absolutely nothing about that, so I can't help you there. I saw a theory online that Loki would return in a movie in a parallel universe. You know when he steals the cube and vanishes? I'd quite like that.
Oh man! Wait. Where does?
What?
Okay. How did they get that time stone? How did they get the Tesseract? Is it that wrong one?
They go back in time further, and then Tony meets his dad. They go back in time and steal it from an even earlier, like the 70s.
Jack,
That's when they take.
Jack.
I think that's when they take the pin
No.
particles.
that's happening.
Yeah.
No, that is.
Because Loki
happening.
takes the Tesseract, disappears. He's not in it ever again.
No, that's how he comes back.
I think there's a theory
Oh my
that.
god, that's such that and he's evil. 100% evil. Like,
Yeah.
he redeemed himself, but now he's evil again because
Yeah.
he.
That was just after the Avengers.
Yes, that's such a good theory.
I loved all the bits where they went back. They referenced the elevator scene, the bit where like Smart Hulk is pretending to be Hulk in the Avengers battle. They brought back so many characters. They got Natalie Portman for that one scene. They got Tilda Swinton.
Can I throw
So
out
good.
a missed opportunity, that really big missed opportunity that I'm really surprised I didn't do, and
Go
it could
for
have
it.
even been cut from the movie. It's so obvious.
Mm.
Captain America still doesn't know, and he will never know because he's obviously gone now, that Red Skull was on Voromir.
Yeah, I guess so.
That would have been cool if, and when I mean, all I wanted was for
Hawkeye to
Hawkeye
tell
to
him.
go, this weird like red dude with like no nose told us blah blah blah, and then have like the camera go to Captain America and this kind of goes like does a double take.
Yeah.
Just give me that. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I
it be
guess
like,
so.
Oh, because that.
I could take it or leave it.
Oh god, I loved Red Skull being. Oh,
That was cool.
It was
'Cause
so
there were
good.
I saw loads of theories again
It
about
was
that.
so-
Like, oh, Red Skull's somewhere because he just got zapped.
on the lead up to Infinity War,
Yeah.
I watched every Marvel movie
Yeah, me too.
weekly.
Weekly.
Yeah, with
Oh, as in you watch a
with
new one
my-
every
with
week.
my good university friend Jack.
Yeah.
That was our like weekly treat,
Not as good as me.
and we timed it so that we'd watch one a week, and then the last week would be Infinity War.
I did the same thing with India because she'd never seen any of them and I
That's
needed
pretty
to see it at the cinema. Yeah.
And then our exams came a few weeks after.
Oh, jeez.
And that was one of the things that I completely forgot when I rewatched Captain America and saw him teleport away, because I had the context of all the other movies in my head at that point. Like,
Yeah.
they're doing something
'Cause
with this.
It suggests
And-
that he
and
dies.
And that was a lovely way of doing it in the
Mm.
film. I just wish that Captain America knew. It's not a big deal, but it was kind of cool.
Captain America has for a long time been my favourite Marvel character in the films,
Okay.
which a lot of people don't agree with. I just love Captain
I think
America.
he's a cool character, yeah.
Mm.
I don't think he's bad at all.
A lot of people just, prefer Iron Man or whatever. I just love Captain America. I love everything he stands for. He's great. I love him.
I think Captain America is a really great character.
He's just such a wholesome... He's just a hero in every sense of the word. And this film just made me love him so much more. The scene where all of Thanos' troops are there, and he's just standing there on his own, It's like he's willing to fight everyone on his own. And Jamie, he picks up Mew Mew.
Yeah, I know.
Finally,
I know.
picks up Mew
I know.
Mew. Do you know the two characters that
it's
got
such a
claps in the film? When I was in there, two characters got cheers in the cinema.
Oh yeah.
Which never happens in England, by the way. I hear it happens a lot in America, but never in England. Two characters got
Got a
cheers.
story for you after this.
Surprisingly, Scarlet Witch. Only character that returned that got cheers. People love Scarlet Witch. Second one was Mew Mew. When Thor puts his hand out and he gets him, everyone cheered.
That's worthy of applause.
It was cool.
The only time I've ever witnessed... There are 2 times I've witnessed an applause in the cinema. First time, which was just ingrained into my head and actually makes me like so happy just thinking about it, was
Spoilers.
at the end of Dark Knight Rises, when it's revealed that the police officer is Robin.
Robin, yeah.
The whole cinema went wild.
Joseph
Everyone
Gordon-Levitt.
just went,
That's really funny.
Oh man! Yeah, they used to call me Robin. Oh! Everyone just absolutely went, the cinema was, every seat was taken. Everyone was, because it was right after school, films came out, everyone was there, right at the end of the movie. Holy shit, yes!
That's so funny.
And the second time was when, in Rise of the Planet of the Apes,
Yes.
where Caesar says no, everyone burst out laughing, and then just ran up applause.
Those are pretty great moments.
Yeah.
I think this film is the only time I've ever experienced an applause in the cinema.
Really? Oh, okay.
And one of them was Scarlet Witch, which really
Weird, yeah.
threw me. But that scene when they would appear from the portals. He says Avengers Assemble. It's never been said. I didn't realise until afterwards. They've never said Avengers Assemble. It's really funny.
That's really interesting, actually. I do think for some.
How did everyone hear him say
weird.
it?
Although it was cool, I do think that there was something off about that scene, and I think it was just too CGI heavy, and it was noticeable. There was something about it that all these characters are popping in, and like they're not really there, are they? Like they're not. They're clearly not really there. If they actually, although I know they're not.
Yeah.
It was so weird looking that it kind of looked uncanny valley, even though they're real people.
Yeah.
They looked animated in my head for some reason. There's a weird scene like this is so completely absurdly not real.
I think I disagree there. I didn't get that feeling at all.
That's in my head. I'm not saying it's a bad scene.
Yeah.
It was amazing actually.
I was just happy that we finally got to see all of the Asgardians fight. The Asgardians showed up for the battle. We didn't see them in Infinity War, it's just the Wakandans. Asgardians were still moping. Oh, and him playing Fortnite with Korg was so funny. Taika Waititi is a genius. He just wrote himself a great role to be in the final Avengers film. With Korg and Meek.
New Asgard. Fantastic.
Yeah, all of that was great.
Oh man.
The Valkyries.
Thor in that whole film was fantastic. What a shift of a character.
Yeah.
They salvaged that character and
Thor
just
Ragnarok
turned him
was
into
was amazing for him. I mean, he's good in the Avengers films, but Thor Ragnarok shifted it up a notch.
He's not a bad character, but his own Thor and Thor Dark World. Take it or leave it.
Thor 1 was meh for me. It was okay. I'd say it was a solid good, but Thor 2 was boring.
It's a really poor film, but
It's just boring.
and then Thor 3, it's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, amazing.
Oh my
so
god!
good.
And he's with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I really hope they call the third one as Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's pretty cool, actually. Really, really amazing choice to have them do that.
Really cool dynamic.
Extremely excited for Guardians 3. 2 things.
Mm.
Adult Groot
Yeah,
back again.
I think he'll be back again by the third one.
Pretty cool. Missed Adult Groot. Bit sad. We already basically know who the villain is. Adam Warlock, because he was revealed.
End credits, right? Last one.
Yes. How can the Guardians possibly defeat Adam Warlock? Well, they got Thor. Sorted. Cool. That's cool. Like they've actually got someone who could face up against this like
Cosmic being.
I'm pretty sure Adam Warlock wielded the Infinity Gauntlet in the comics at one point. He's a powerful character.
I think he's supposed to be like one of the most powerful heroes, if not the most powerful hero.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Mm.
And I think he's going to be a new hero as well as a villain.
Yeah, I think he's mainly a hero in the comics. Yeah. What do you think of Smart Hulk?
I think that was a stroke of genius.
That was really great.
The fact that
It worked so weirdly well.
the fact that it was just a thing, and also the scene where he was getting his picture taken was amazing.
That was good.
Just like
It
like in a
brought me
serious
back into the
conversation,
world
like,
again.
Like, hey guys, he's so humble.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, how
And
you
it's
doing?
like that would happen. People take pictures of the Hulk. And they got over it so quick, they didn't make a big deal. They just like, I'm like this now, shot myself a gamma, and then they just didn't really mention it again. People just talked to him like normal. There's like one scene with Scott eating like, I can't remember what it is, a burrito or something, and he's looking around like, oh, what the hell is happening? Where am I?
The fact that they finished Infinity War with him saying, look Hulk, we've got some things to sort out here. And they did sort it out.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they're going to stay. I think that Hulk is going to exit the movies by splitting himself entirely.
Yes.
And I think that it
Planet
might,
Hulk movie.
I think that it might be a catalyst for it. Oh, Planet Hulk movie. But that was Thor 3. That was Planet Hulk.
That was Planet Hulk.
I think that the catalyst is going to be that he falls in love again.
Mm.
And no one wants to be with Hulk, right? And in the comics, when he's split from Hulk, you get Grey Hulk.
Mm.
That's a cool character to add into the show. That's a potential villain.
Grey Hulk, Grey Vision.
Sure, go for it. Also, okay. Also, Spider-Man
Far From Home.
multiverse confirmed.
We're gonna constantly be talking about
Sorry, not confirmed until we see the film because it could be a lie. But multiverse, maybe.
We're gonna constantly mention the time we went travelling around Europe. It looks like the time we went travelling around Europe.
Hey, remember Venice? We've been there!
It looks like the time everyone went to Venice, but specifically me and Jamie.
We went to
Yeah,
Venice.
I am convinced that Mysterio is lying. Oh, no. Okay, maybe either they think he's lying about the multiverse, and then the twist is that he's not lying and there is a multiverse, or he is lying about the multiverse, and then the twist is there is a multiverse and he just didn't realise.
I think there's a multiverse. I think that
They're going to use it to bring in X-Men and
it is too
everyone.
much emphasis on the word, and it's too much. That's too much of a specific word. Like they're not there are other worlds, there are other realities. No, there's
It's
a multiverse.
And there's like two
What
lines
film-
in the trailer about it.
What Spider-Man recently came out, like that surely that's a.
Yeah. Also, I saw another really cool thing. You know, Donald Glover played the Prowler in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
He's Miles Morales' uncle.
Mm-hmm.
If Miles Morales aged 5 years older, potentially could seem about right. He's the same age as Peter Parker now in the MCU.
But you're saying that those films are crossover. Wait, what do you mean?
No. I mean, Miles Morales might be a character in the MCU and could potentially now be the same age as Peter Parker because he's aged up 5 years. And I'd quite like it if Miles Morales was the same age as Peter Parker and was in the MCU.
Yeah, but he hasn't been introduced at all as a character though.
No, I know, but I just mean they could introduce him as a character
I see.
and he could be the same age as Peter Parker because of the 5 year shift thing. I mean, they could just make him the same age anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they haven't introduced
Yeah,
him,
but they
so-
showed Donald Glover and he didn't seem old enough to have like, I don't know, how old is Peter Parker? Like a 17-year-old nephew? I suppose you can have a nephew at any
I'm
age.
confused. Donald Glover isn't in the MCU.
He was in the first Spider-Man film. He plays like a drug dealer in one scene.
But like, that's not the same character though.
That's the Prowler.
That's confirmed.
They say his name.
And he's the same character in Spider-Verse.
He plays the character of the Prowler, yeah.
He's the Prowler in both the MCU and the Sony.
No, he
released
doesn't. He
animated
doesn't
film.
play him in the Sony film. In the Sony film, the Prowler's played by Mahershala Ali,
Oh.
the guy from Moonlight.
Oh.
That's like an older man.
But the fact that they've introduced him as the Prowler in the MCU, okay, I'm on your wavelength now. That's cool. Sorry, I was thinking that they had the same character.
No, I can see why you're confused because I didn't explain that well. No, it's the same character, not the same actor.
Okay.
What I mean is Donald Glover in...
No. That could be a thing, yeah. I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's another theory I read online because I spend all my time reading theories online.
I think that's a good theory, actually.
But Donald Glover seemed about the age 12, like a 12-year-old nephew in Spider-Man Homecoming. So it'd be kind of cool if now Miles Morales was 17, it was the same age as Peter Parker.
And I think...
I don't think that's been done, him being the same age as Peter Parker.
No. And I think that he should be introduced. I think that'd be really cool. I also think that having an alternate reality Spider-Man, I know it's just been done.
In Spider-Verse, yeah.
But it's so badass that just do it again. Like, and they're
Spider-Verse.
obviously hinting at it. Also,
I don't think Miles Morales should be introduced just yet, because Spider-Man definitely
just-
needs to establish himself first.
yes, but it opens the door. It opens the door for like so many random villains coming from multiple dimensions. I love that.
Yeah,
That'd be
and
so
heroes.
Cool. And heroes.
Disney owns Fox. It's so weird, because now I'm older, I'm at an age where I'm excited for the real world aspects of this. Like when Disney brought Fox, though it felt semi-dystopian that they now own like 30% of the movie industry.
Yes.
It's also like, oh, they own all these characters now. They can do all these things. I like it a lot.
That was a very intentional word.
What?
Things. Thing. The thing.
What a wide jump you just made. I want to see Fantastic Four and X-Men in the MCU, yeah.
What is happening?
I want to see new actors and actresses portraying the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
I would be surprised if Dark Phoenix is the last X-Men movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Which would be a bit of a shame, because great.
I think X-Men is well overdue a refresh.
Yeah.
As in a proper beat restart, not just... I know they've done a soft reset.
They've done weird stuff with X-Men.
But I think the storyline is so convoluted that they need to just start, because there is so much good material. Like the whole Days of Future Past. I think the idea of having the Sentinels coming to kill the X-Men in an apocalypse in the future is sick. But they botched it. I think they made the story too convoluted and confusing to actually be worthy.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that particular film. I just think the series in general.
I think Days of Future Past is when it became stupid.
Logan was really, really good. Have you seen Logan?
Logan's incredible.
Logan's amazing.
But it doesn't make any sense from a story perspective at all.
No. I mean,
when does that take place?
That's the thing. As a standalone film, Logan is amazing.
Did they even attempt to explain where it is?
No, you have to completely ignore the rest of the series,
sense, right?
Which is I mean, I think X-Men's been good overall.
Mm-hmm. X-Men movies are good or great, actually.
Yeah, I'd say sometimes they're like pretty boring. I think they vary massively in quality.
The most boring one is X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, I was going to say X2, but I forgot about X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Especially with what they did to Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean that's just a ridiculous meme at this point.
Okay. Don't you think it's like completely bizarre how they have Ryan Reynolds play Deadpool in X-Men Origins, and then in the same universe, like this is the same company making the same universe of films that are connected.
Yeah.
He's also the same person playing Deadpool.
And it's so wildly different because now Ryan Reynolds, I guess, helped.
Did they acknowledge that?
They did Deadpool.
It's just like, there's two.
This is what they need to do. They need to refresh X-Men with new actors and everything. They need to keep Deadpool. They need Deadpool to constantly acknowledge what is happening. It's perfect. Deadpool doesn't need to change because it's Deadpool.
Exactly.
Like it's so perfect.
And that is why. That makes it perfect for him to be introduced into the MCU. Him just having a film where he just references who are all these guys, like the Avengers, like what, and like being like, Okay, fine. Let's just go into this. I'm part of this universe now. That'd be great. Because we haven't had that many moments in the movies, but like, he could just talk to the camera, as in like properly, like you see a camera film him, like he's looking at the cameraman, and you see him having a conversation with the cameraman. Like, what is going on here? You know.
While I would very much like a Spidey Pool film, etc., I really don't think they'll do it.
I think that Spider-Man has too much of a family-friendly image, and Deadpool clearly is
Especially Deadpool with Tom Holland would be hilarious.
If they were going to do it,
another thing
they would either have to make Spider-Man mature, which they're not going to do,
unless it's
or
in the future.
or Deadpool not mature, and that's kind of
that ruins the point. No, if they did it, they'd have to age Tom Holland a bit, wait a few years, and then do it. But I don't know. Well, the one thing that makes me sad is I would have really liked a Deadpool Wolverine film with Hugh Jackman. But I think that's completely off the cards now. I'm pretty sure his contract just ended with Logan.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That was the perfect send-off.
Yeah, of course it was. X-Men's due to die. That's all good now.
It's been like nearly 20 years of this franchise. That's insanely long.
Yes.
He was playing Logan for like 18 years.
And it's incredible how people in droves go to see it, even though it's like absolutely clearly nonsense films.
No, people have no idea what is happening in those films.
No.
It is weird. They've completely just gone off the rails in terms of storytelling.
I didn't see Apocalypse. I have no interest in seeing Apocalypse.
I saw some of Apocalypse. I
I'm
can't
not gonna
remember
see
why
Dark
I only
Phoenix.
saw some of Apocalypse. No, I'm not going to see Dark Phoenix. They've got another one that's like a horror as well coming out.
Yes, but that's the has Maisie Williams in it.
That's like a different, which is funny because Dark Phoenix is Sophie Turner.
Yeah, I know. It's called.
I can't remember what it's
like
called.
the other, or the new X-Men or something like that, or the New Mutants.
I think it's called The New Mutants.
Yeah.
I think that's like a different universe. Not sure.
Yeah, fine. I don't mind doing one-offs like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I would like.
Jack, I'm gonna throw a spanner into the works.
And say we should end.
Yep.
Jamie, it's only been almost 2 hours.
Thank you for enjoying and liking and subscribing.
Sonic looks really bad.
Yeah, Sonic looks really bad.
We don't have to say anything else about that other than Danny DeVito should have been X-Men. Should have been Eggman. Danny DeVito should be all the X-Men. It's just a bunch of Danny DeVitos in a row dressed as different X-Men.
At the end scene of Infinity War, it's really unbelievable because it's all CGI and Uncanny Valley.
And with that...
That was Endgame, not Infinity War! It's gone on for even longer now!
Subscribe. It pays the rent.
You're not watching this. Don't pretend you're watching this.